Hi, it's Everman Tactical today, and I've been asked several times to do a quick video on reloading. So I'm going to start by explaining the stuff you're going to need to reload. You're going to need a press. You're going to need reloading dice for the caliber in which you're going to use. Then you're going to need a way to prime your casing, which you can either use a hand prime here or a Lee Ram prime. I actually really like the Lee's hand prime, or Lee's Ram prime, because it's a lot less stress on my hands. You're going to need some way to pour the powder. You can either use one of these, or Lee's kits come with little things like this. Don't ever go by CC though, because that can put you well beyond max load for certain calibers. What you can do, is use this just to pour the powder into your digital scale. And then from there, work your way up to the appropriate grade. You are going to need up-to-date reloading data, so you can either use an old book like this, which I still go back to time to time, or I go on the Hodgkin's website. I use BLC2 powder, which is military-grade powder, so I can also use military load data, which you can download online. You're also going to need a funnel. This is a powder trickler. This has helped to get that perfect grainage down to 0.1 grains. You're going to need case lube, a set of calipers, and a way to cut the casing. Now this is missing the other piece. There's another piece, like a chuck, that mounts into a drill, which then you mount the brass into it and run this down as it's going. So I'm going to start. First, I'm going to take my cartridge. I'm going to run some case lube on it. Slide it into my plate holder. Run it through, which this is a depriming and sizing die. So this will bring that casing shoulder, this area here, back to where it needs to be, and also knock out the primer. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to size the casing. So this is going to be loud, so if you're out in public and you've got the phone, just be aware of that. So I set it in this little chuck here that goes in my drill press. Then I run this up, size the casing. I take my chamfer tool, little tool like this, and I lightly touch it in there, and now that's ready to go. My next step is going to be to prime the casing. Now you don't do this one round at a time, change the dies. The best way to do this is to do each stage to 50 to 100 rounds. If you'll need 20, just do 20. So I'm going to be using my Lee Ram prime because it's easier on rifle cartridges, and it's easier on my hands. Because like I said, I'd be doing 100, 150, I've done up to 300 each stage before. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your prepped cartridge. Now it's been shortened to the minimal overall length, or minimal cartridge length. It's been deprimed. So I'm going to slide that in there. Take a primer. Make sure you get good primers. Slide that in there. Go until you hear the pop. Withdraw. Now you've got a primed casing. Like I said, normally you do this in stages, so you would be doing all this switching every round. But we're going to be, that would make this video incredibly long. Okay. Now the next one that's going to go in is the bullet seating die. Which I always start back a little bit because you never know if that slip ring has moved just a little. So I'm going to back it out just a little And grab. You need bullets. These are cheap as dirt. If you can find the pulled ones, those are even better. So now I'm going to go to the powder port. I'm going to zero out my digital scale by putting the powder pan on the scale and pressing on. That works. It's pretty much universal amongst all these different scales. Now I'm going to pour the powder. This is very important, gentlemen. You really need the exact amount of powder. Here you go, 46 grains even, so I don't need to use the trickler. I'm going to take my reloading tray. There, place my round. The reloading tray is a really good item to have, by the way. It just makes this whole stage way easier. Okay, making sure I had everything out of the way. Now you take your powder, level out your funnel, pour it in, make sure that there aren't too many grains left in there, and then it goes into the cartridge. Next you're going to slide your cartridge into there, insert your round on top, and gently but evenly use the lever. See? So visually, because this has a cantilever line, I can see that it's well off. So I'm only going to go for the first one I'll do, a quarter turn at a time, until I know about where it gets. If it doesn't have a cantilever, what you're going to be doing is every time you pull, you stroke, you're going to pull this out, and see, I'm almost there, probably a couple tenths of an inch, so turn that a little bit again. Now remember, in the book it lists the maximum overall length of a cartridge. Depending on whether it's running a compressed load or not, that means that the powder is actually being pushed by the bullet down. You can seat them a little bit lower if you're running in magazines like me. Now see, this is exactly 2.78, which is exactly what I load mine in at, because it gives them a little bit of space in the magazine. And there you go. That is a loaded cartridge. There's one more step that you can do. I don't really find it necessary for range ammunition, is to crimp the round. But as far as that basic principle is going, there you go. Now I get almost all of my products off of MidwayUSA.com. That's a great source for bullets, primers, and powders. I get at Bass Pro Shops because I'm not paying that huge amount of shipping. And then for the actual brass itself, I just go to my local rifle range and see if they're willing to sell me brass. These I got for $3 a pound, which is a generally good price. Things like this, the calipers, you get them at Harbor Freight. Those are generally cheap. The dies I get off Amazon because that's ridiculously cheap. Everything else is like a mishmash of other places. I think I got the digital scale from Amazon as well. But there's my reloading video for you guys. So, you know, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment in the bottom and I'll respond. And don't forget to subscribe to my page so you can see more awesome videos in the future. Everyman Tactical, you guys stay safe out there.